Queen Elizabeth II put her usual New Year celebrations aside to join former Prime Minister Tony Blair at the grand opening of the Millennium Dome on December 31, 1999. Despite being started by Mr. Blair's Tory predecessor, John Major, it had become one of Prime Minister Blair's signature projects. The Dome, as it was known back then, housed a major exhibition celebrating the beginning of the third millennium, and was widely deemed as a failure for having attracted barely half of the 12 million customers its sponsors had forecast. And, according to a royal author, the Dome's grand opening was true to form and became one of the most monumental cock-ups in public relations history. Tina Brown, author of The Palace Papers, recounted the New Year's Eve celebrations, claiming Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were not impressed with the event. The dawning of the third millennium was an anxious time for Queen Elizabeth II, she wrote. Normally, she would have been in Norfolk surrounded by family and friends for her annual New Year's Eve celebration at Sandringham House. Instead, on the night of the December 31, 1999, she had gone to bed at Windsor Castle distinctly disgruntled. The author explained that the royals had been obliged to join Prime Minister Tony Blair and his wife, Cherie, at the disastrous New Year's celebration, adding that the Queen and Philip were already exhausted when they arrived by boat at Greenwich. Accompanied by Princess Anne and her husband, Sir Timothy Lawrence, the couple disembarked at the Queen Elizabeth II Pier and made their way into the Dome. There, they were greeted with rows and rows of empty seats. Ms. Brown quoted the diary of Alistair Campbell, Mr. Blair's former spokesman, press secretary and director of communications and strategy, which noted that the royal party were clearly pissed off to be there. Queen Cancer revelation approved by royals to avoid Harry book bombshell. Giles Brandreth, a royal author and friend of Prince Philip, has claimed the late Queen Elizabeth II had a form of bone marrow cancer. The biographer made the statement about Her Majesty's health struggle in his upcoming book, Elizabeth, An Intimate Portrait. Find out more about the claim here. In Power and Responsibility, the third volume of his unique account of life at the centre of the Blair government, Mr. Campbell wrote, T.B. Blair worked away at them. But Anne was like granite. Cherie even courtesied to the Queen, a bit of a first I think, but it didn't seem to do much good. They tried to get the royals going a bit once Auld Lang Syne came on, but it was pretty clear they would rather be sitting under their travelling rugs in Balmoral. The Queen did kiss Philip and took his and TB's hands, with obvious freezing reluctance, the press noted, for Auld Lang Syne, but they did not look comfortable with the whole thing. TB claimed Philip said to him it was brilliant, but his body language did not radiate in that direction. Ms. Brown noted, the royal couple were not fans of Blair at the best of times, recounting the period after Diana's death, when Blair was new to the job and made much publicised efforts to mediate her, the Queen's response to popular feeling overly inflated. The new Labour leader dubbed Diana, Princess of Wales, as the People's Princess and made it known that he had encouraged the Queen to make a statement after her death, purportedly claiming to have saved the reputation of the monarchy. Mr. Blair was in office for 10 years, from 1997 to 2007, and was the first Prime Minister to be born during the Queen's reign. He was Her Majesty's 10th leader and the pair endured a particularly tumultuous relationship, the pair rarely seeing eye to eye. According to previous reports, the Queen was once quick to put the Prime Minister in his place. In 2002, Mr. Blair recalled the morning he was appointed, explaining that when the monarch formally invited him to form a new government, She said that Winston Churchill was the first prime minister that she dealt with, and that was before I was born. He told the BBC documentary, Queen and Country, "I got a sense of my relative's seniority, or lack of it." Blair had gotten royal relations off to a chilly start with his government's 1997 decision not to replace the 43-year-old royal yacht Britannia, claimed Ms. Brown. It was a political hot potato he had inherited from John Major's government, and Blair felt he had no choice but to go through with it to appease the lefties in his own party. The Duke of Edinburgh reportedly complained about the decision, and in December 1997, at the ship's decommissioning ceremony, the Queen shed a rare tear. Further tension between Mr. Blair and the Queen came from an apparent informality that the Blairs had towards the monarchy. According to reports, Cherie did not curtsy to Queen Elizabeth on her first visit to Balmoral in 1997, and she allegedly left the Queen feeling mortified upon her decision to wear a trouser suit, deemed to be an incredibly inappropriate choice in the presence of royalty. However, Mr. Blair did reveal that the late monarch was one of the only people to whom he could tell his true thoughts and opinions. During the BBC documentary, he said, "There are only two people in the world frankly to whom a prime minister can say what he likes about cabinet colleagues. One's the wife, and the other's the Queen. She, the Queen, is about the only person that you can tell something to in complete confidence and know that the confidence will never be broken. And I've done that on several occasions." Despite this, Mr. Blair did include private conversations he had with the Queen in his memoirs, leading many to believe a reserve remained between the royals and the Blairs. Following the Queen's death in September, Mr. Blair issued a statement which read, "The Queen has been part of my life for all of my life. From the moment I waved my little flag as I watched her, as a child, be driven through the streets of Durham, to the honor of being her Prime Minister, to my last meeting with her and then lunching with her at Windsor Castle for the Garter ceremony just a few months ago, she has been an enduring presence of strength and stability. At that lunch, we sat next to each other and she was on sparkling form as we talked, warm, gracious, humorous and spirited.